Did a man really get burned by a UFO after walking right up to it in the Canadian wilderness? Let's talk about the Falcon Lake Incident, one of the most physically documented UFO encounters in history. It's May 20th, 1967, just weeks before Shag Harbor. Near Falcon Lake, Manitoba, industrial mechanic Stefan Michalak is prospecting for quartz in a remote area of forest and rock. He's alone, experienced outdoors, and not looking for anything unusual. Then he hears something, a strange fluttering mechanical sound overhead. Michalak looks up and sees two cigar-shaped objects descending. One lands on a rocky outcrop, the other takes off. Michalak approaches. What he sees is not a glowing fantasy craft. It's metallic, solid, and industrial looking. It's oval shaped and about the size of a car with a smooth surface and a hatch that appears to open. Inside, he hears voices. At first, he assumes it's an experimental aircraft, so he does something almost unbelievable. He calls out, first in English, then Polish, then Russian. No response. As he steps closer, the hatch suddenly slams shut. The craft begins to rotate. Michalak reaches out and touches the surface. It's scorching hot. He recoils. Then it happens. A grid of vents on the craft blast him with superheated exhaust. Not flames, not fire. A focused burst of hot gas. The craft lifts off violently and disappears. Michalak collapses. His clothes are burned and his skin is scorched. He makes his way back to civilization in shock and pain. And this is where the case becomes impossible to ignore. Doctors examine him. They document that there are burns in a perfect grid pattern on his chest, matching the vent configuration he described. Not random burns, a pattern. Over the following days, Michalak suffers from severe nausea, weight loss, headaches, and blackouts. Doctors later note symptoms consistent with radiation exposure. His clothes also test positive for elevated radiation levels. The Canadian government investigates, and so does the RCMP, and so does the Royal Canadian Air Force. Even the US Air Force quietly reviews the case. No hoax is found, no aircraft matches that description, and no explanation accounts for the burns, radiation, and physical evidence altogether. Michalak never sought fame, he avoided media attention and stuck to the same account until his death. No embellishment and no contradictions. And the skeptics suggest that it could have been a hallucination, a secret military craft, or just a misidentified jet exhaust. But none of those explain the grid pattern burns, the radiation traces, the lasting medical effects, or the official investigations that went nowhere. So let's stack what Falcon Lake gives us. A close-range encounter, a physical craft, medical documentation, radiation evidence, government investigation, and a credible witness with no motive to lie. That's rare. Extremely rare. The Falcon Lake incident doesn't rely on belief, it relies on injuries, records, and patterns that still don't fit anything we officially know. Maybe it was unknown technology, and maybe it was something experimental. Or maybe it was something not meant to be approached by a human being who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And whatever it was, it left behind proof written directly onto a man's skin. That's why, more than 50 years later, Falcon Lake remains one of the strongest and most unsettling UFO cases on record.